We're looking at lifestyle farming. Now, why are we doing this? Because it kind of leads on from a story that we were doing yesterday. Yesterday, we were actually talking about rabbits and learning from lots of texts and callers and from also Andrew Curtis from Livestock SA about the number of rabbits around the place. And the consensus was very definitely that there are a whole lot more. And we sort of got thinking about these things and then thought, well, one of our callers, John, actually expressed some frustration with lifestyle or hobby farmers, as some people call them, because John didn't think that they're helping much to control these things. Now, that's probably only a very small part of the puzzle, I've got to say, John, but here's a little bit of what he had to say.
In my observation, doing a bit of work through the hills and being an ex-farmer, I just can't believe the lack of education that these people have got that have bought their 5 acres up in the hills, got the dreamland hobby block, and these rabbits are burrowing under their house. They've got no idea what damage that they can do. Yeah, it's education.
Yes, it is education, and I think, John, you've got a point, that's for sure, but it's only part of the puzzle. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because John was a farmer, as he said, and I've been talking about farming issues for a very long time on ABC Radio, decades now, and certainly there's always been a little bit of tension, you've got to say, between what you might call traditional farmers or, full-time farmers and those who do it on a part-time basis or on a lifestyle basis. So do the lifestyle farmers get a bad rap? I don't know. But what does it take to be a good lifestyle farmer? Well, Patrick O'Driscoll and Belle Baker are well placed to talk about this. They've both got experience in the real deal, large-scale farming, but they now live at Littlehampton up in the Mount Lofty Ranges, and last year set up their business, which is called Adelaide Hills Farm Services, to help people who are starting out to manage their land well. So it'll be really interesting to hear their ideas. G'day, Patrick. How are you?
Good afternoon, Leigh. Very well, thank you.
And you've seen it from, well, you literally see it from both sides of the fence, Patrick. You've grown up in a traditional farming setting, but now you're advising those who are doing it more along lifestyle lines. What's your view?
Yeah, my overall view there, Leigh, is that I think quite a few of the lifestyle farmers in the hills are very passionate about their acres that they have purchased. There's still some room for education, as the snippet from John from yesterday pointed out, but there's always room for improvement, no matter how long or how little you've been in the industry also.
And was this where you saw a gap in the market, so to speak, and that there was a business opportunity here to help people who were getting into this lifestyle farming, Patrick?
Absolutely, Leigh. My passion, together with my partner Belle's passion, is agriculture, and certainly that's exactly how we saw it.
And we've got your partner Belle Baker on the phone as well. G'day to you, Belle.
Hi there.
How are you this afternoon?
Oh, I'm really well. I'm inside on a rainy day with the fire going. I'm quite cosy, thanks.
How much rain have you guys had up at Littlehampton?
We took out 14 points today, I believe. Is that right, Pods?
14 millimetres.
14 millimetres, and that's all come fairly quickly this morning, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've had enough. Thank you very much for the moment.
So, Belle, what sort of things are you helping to advise lifestyle farmers on? What sort of topics do you cover, and what sort of assistance can you provide?
Okay, so we do have a focus on everybody enjoying their lifestyle and their farm or property in the Adelaide Hills. We think it's really important that when they purchase their property, that they are wanting to be a part of the rural industry or agriculture up here. So a part of that is obviously what I would call being a good neighbour. So managing the feral animals to the best of their ability, and of course helping to educate them do that is a big part of what we do. Managing the noxious and declared weeds, both on roadsides and on property, is a big thing, to be responsible for. Bushfire risk reduction is another one that we're really very passionate about, particularly after the Cuddly Creek fires. And we're seeing an increase in number of people wanting to participate in, risk reduction in ways, whether it be reducing grasses, etc., on the edge of their properties, which is great. Some of the other things include livestock containment, having good, strong fences that are fit for purpose.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So, of course, a fence that might be suitable for cattle may not keep in your goats, particularly miniature goats or sheep. And we're actually doing quite a bit of work with a number of people at the moment for kangaroo exclusion fencing as a part of their whole farm, holistic looking at what they're doing with their properties. So that's really exciting.
Tell us a little bit about that, Belle, because kangaroo exclusion, that's keeping them off your property, I take it. That would require quite a fence, I would imagine.
Yes, it is quite a fence. It's a higher than normal fence, and it actually comes with an apron installed on the bottom and on facing the outside of your property. The idea is that you hunt them out and they don't get back in, but Pods might be better off talking about the specifications of the kangaroo fence.
So tell us about it, Pods.
Yeah, the kangaroo exclusion fence, as Belle rightly pointed out, Leigh, is the ones we're building are about 1.5 metres high, but the most important thing is, from our research and reading that we've done, is the kangaroo's number one way to get from point A to point B where a fence exists is to try and crawl under or dig their way under.
Yep.
Then their second option is to go through, and it's only until they can't do any of those two and pressure is put on by humans that they will indeed try and jump over the fence. So I think it's pretty important that that apron is in place. It only needs to be a 300mm apron going in the direction of the outside of the property from where the kangaroos are coming, and obviously plenty of posts and or droppers in the fence to give it the integrity that it needs from the pressure of the kangaroos.
And there are a lot more of them around now, aren't there? I'm not surprised that this has become a bit of an issue for you and that people are interested in these sorts of exclusion fences because of the sheer number of kangaroos now.
Absolutely. That's one thing that's taken me by surprise in my time up here in the Adelaide Hills, is the sheer number of kangaroos throughout the hills and how very friendly they are, and sheer numbers, very surprising. And it doesn't surprise that I've been able to, or we have been able to pick up some clients who wish to protect their places from the kangaroos.
Yes, I've lived up in the hills all my life, up above Crayford now, and when I was a kid, you would never have seen a kangaroo or a koala or much else for that matter, but we have kangaroos in the yard pretty much every day of the year in one way or another.
Well,
so there you go.
Now you'll be very pleased to hear, Leigh, that we're actually working with a client up in Crayford now to put in some kangaroo exclusion fencing up there.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Now, Belle, the other thing about lifestyle farming, of course, is really taking your responsibility seriously, isn't it? Because that's where some of the tension has come in the past between lifestyle farmers and real farmers, if I can put it that way, and or other neighbours who are concerned about what those lifestyle farming properties are looking like, particularly when they're overgrown.
Yeah, that's right. Look, I think anyone who buys acreage or property up here really does, with that, take a responsibility to do their bit to keep their properties tidy, whether it be looking at weeds and things, but also one of the other things we find is livestock welfare and, having adequate amounts of the right feed on hand, vaccinations, worming, lice management for cattle and sheep seems to go by the wayside a lot. So we actively help small property owners that don't necessarily have the skills or the implements to do that. We believe that everybody is trying to do the right thing.
Yes.
It's for the love of farming. So we're really coming from a really positive point of view. Sure, there are people out there not doing the right thing, and there are agencies that can help with that. But everyone else, we think, you can't persecute someone because they don't know. and we actively help them and do what we can so that everyone can enjoy living up here in a way that they want to.
I imagine then that there's a fair educational aspect to what you're doing, because it's all very well to have the aspiration and move from the city up to, the Adelaide Hills and have a lifestyle farm, but I do often wonder whether people really know what they're getting themselves in for.
Yeah, look, often they don't, but we're finding that people are really open and interested in the information that we provide when we come on farm or they give us a call. We're really about helping people. That's a big thing for us. So anyone rings us and they want some information or queries on any of their stock or their land management, we'll happily, head them in the right direction. If we can't help them, we provide them with some names of some people who can, because we just think it's a part of our responsibility living and working up here.
And are the lifestyle farms still increasing? Are they still growing in number, or are we still seeing farms essentially being cut up into smaller blocks for this purpose?
Gosh, it's probably, I'm probably really don't know the answer to that, but it feels like they're still being carved up, which, it is a real shame. But a lot of the smaller sort of 3 to 5 acre properties have that they're not able to be subdivided any further, which is really good. And I think there are some areas that are protected from subdivision, which is also really good.
Yes. So no shortage of work for you guys by the sound of things in the Mount Lofty Ranges.
That's right. No, we've been really busy. We've stalled a little bit with the rain the last couple of weeks, which is why we're, not often farmers say they don't want any more, but it is sort of slowing us down at the moment, and everything's starting to pile up behind it. But
yes.
There is plenty to do up here, yes.
Well, fascinating to speak to you both this afternoon, and all the best with the business. It's been really interesting to learn a little bit more about lifestyle farming up in the Mount Lofty Ranges, and appreciate your time, Pods and Belle.
Thank you very much,
for your
Leigh.
interest.
Good on you. Patrick O'Driscoll, otherwise known as Pods, and Belle Baker, who run this business called Adelaide Hills Farm Services, offering advice and help and education to people who are really getting into the business of, well, not the business, but into the lifestyle of farming in a very limited way. There is so much to learn when you do this. I tell you what, there is much more to it than meets the eye.